Some rival fan groups are starting to panic. Because when respected veterans, former locker room leaders, and league analysts all start saying the same thing about their quarterback, it usually means one thing. The Broncos may have finally found the superstar who can lead the franchise back to the top of the AFC. And what's been said about Bo Nix is causing a huge reaction in the NFL world right now. Some fans don't want to believe it. Others are furious to hear it. But the numbers, the wins, and the impact he's already having on the team are becoming impossible to ignore. The craziest part? This may only be the beginning of what Bo is about to become in Denver. But before we get into the details, be sure to like this post if you truly believe the Denver Broncos are building a team capable of returning to the Super Bowl soon. And I also want you to comment below right now if you're optimistic about this franchise's future. Go, Broncos! Our time is coming! Now let's get straight into this because the comments from Justin Simmons are creating a massive reaction among NFL fans, especially among Chiefs fans who absolutely do not want to hear this conversation. According to Simmons, there is no debate about who the best quarterback from the 2024 draft class has been so far. He said very clearly that Bo Nix is by far the best quarterback from that group, and he didn't leave any room for confusion. And think about the names involved in that class. We're talking about quarterbacks like Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix Jr., and J.J. McCarthy. Those were the names dominating headlines before the draft, but now after 2 seasons, people around the league are starting to realize something important. Bo Nix is producing results at a level many analysts did not expect this quickly. Justin Simmons pointed directly to winning as the biggest reason why Bo deserves this recognition. He talked about how Bo helped lead the Broncos to their first playoff appearance in 8 years and then followed that with an AFC Championship appearance. That matters. In today's NFL, quarterbacks are ultimately judged by whether they can elevate an organization and change the direction of a franchise. And that is exactly what Broncos fans have been watching happen in Denver. What makes this even more interesting is that Simmons didn't focus only on stats. He focused on leadership, consistency, and the ability to win under pressure. That says a lot because former teammates and respected veterans usually see things casual fans never notice. When somebody like Justin Simmons speaks this confidently about a quarterback, it means the belief inside football circles is becoming very real. And the numbers backing up Bo Nix are becoming impossible to ignore. According to the discussion in the report, Bo became the first quarterback in NFL history to record over 20 wins, 7,500 passing yards, and more than 50 passing touchdowns during his first 2 seasons. That is not normal production for a young quarterback still learning the league. That is elite territory. What's even more impressive is how clutch he has been during critical moments. One of the biggest points mentioned was that Bo had 8 game-winning drives last season, which was not only the best mark in the NFL, but reportedly the most ever by a player aged 25 or younger during the Super Bowl era. Think about that for a second. The Broncos were in pressure situations repeatedly, and Bo kept finding ways to deliver. And this is exactly why Broncos fans are starting to believe this team can truly compete with the AFC's elite. It's not just about potential anymore. It's about production. It's about seeing a quarterback step into difficult moments and perform like a veteran. There's also another important detail that should excite everyone in Denver. The Broncos reportedly had one of the best records in the league when trailing in games last season. That says this team is developing resilience, composure, and confidence. Of course, once people started comparing Bo Nix statistically with Patrick Mahomes over the last couple of seasons, things got heated online. Chiefs fans immediately exploded over those comparisons, especially because some of Bo's recent numbers stacked up surprisingly well in several categories. But the important point here is not claiming Bo already has the career Mahomes has built. Nobody serious is saying that. The point is that Bo Nix is building something extremely promising very early in his NFL journey. The confidence surrounding Denver right now also comes from the belief that this roster is improving in multiple areas at once. There was heavy praise directed toward the Broncos' offensive line, the defense, and the overall supporting cast around Bo. That combination is what every young quarterback needs if a franchise truly wants to compete for championships. And maybe the biggest sign that Broncos country should feel optimistic is this: people are no longer talking about Bo Nix as just a developing rookie project. The conversation is changing. Now people are debating whether he already belongs in discussions involving some of the better quarterbacks in the league. That shift is massive for this franchise after years of instability at the position. What makes this entire situation even more exciting for Denver Broncos fans is that people outside the organization are beginning to acknowledge what's happening. And when a respected player like Justin Simmons openly says Bo Nix is the best quarterback from this class by far, that is not something fans should ignore. Those comments carry weight because Simmons spent years around elite NFL talent, and he understands exactly what winning football looks like. The biggest thing Broncos fans should focus on right now is how quickly Bo has changed the mentality around this franchise. Just a couple of years ago, the national media constantly talked about Denver as a team stuck in uncertainty. Every offseason felt like another reset button. Every season ended with questions about the future at quarterback. But now, the conversation is completely different. Now the discussion is about whether this team can seriously challenge the top contenders in the AFC. That transformation does not happen unless the quarterback position becomes stable. And the confidence Bo plays with is becoming contagious across the roster. One of the most important details mentioned was how effective Denver became in comeback situations. Teams that consistently win while trailing are usually mentally tough, disciplined, and confident in their quarterback. Those are traits championship caliber teams often develop before they make a true Super Bowl push. Another thing that cannot be overlooked is Bo's ability to deliver in clutch moments. The fact he recorded 8 game-winning drives in a single season at such a young age says everything about how calm he stays under pressure. Some quarterbacks put up numbers when games are comfortable. Others rise when everything is collapsing around them. Bo has shown signs of being the second type. And this is where things start becoming dangerous for the rest of the AFC West. Because if Denver already has a quarterback capable of leading late-game drives consistently, and if the defense continues improving, suddenly this team becomes much harder to beat. That's why you're seeing more frustration from rival fan bases online, especially Chiefs fans. They understand that if Bo keeps ascending, the division may no longer belong automatically to Kansas City every season. The comparisons with Patrick Mahomes created chaos online, but the bigger takeaway was never about saying Bo already has a better career. Nobody can deny Mahomes' accomplishments. The real point being made is that statistically, Bo's early development has been extremely impressive, especially considering he's only entering his 3rd season. That's the part rival fans don't want to admit. And honestly, Broncos fans should enjoy every second of this. For years, Denver supporters watched division rivals dominate headlines while the Broncos searched for answers. Now there's finally genuine belief growing around this organization again. You can feel the energy changing. You can feel expectations rising. And maybe most importantly, players themselves seem convinced this team is building towards something much bigger. There was also a major point raised about the roster around Bo Nix. The belief is that Denver now has advantages in multiple key areas, including offensive line play, defensive talent, and overall supporting weapons. That matters because young quarterbacks rarely succeed alone. The best organizations create environments where quarterbacks can grow without carrying the entire franchise on their backs immediately. And if we're being honest, this upcoming season feels massive for the Broncos. Expectations are no longer small. Fans are no longer hoping just to stay competitive. The conversation is shifting toward playoff runs, conference contention, and possibly even Super Bowl dreams. That pressure comes naturally when a quarterback starts producing at this level early in his career. The scary part for the rest of the league is that Bo may still be improving rapidly. He has only played 34 regular season games, and yet people are already discussing his name alongside